What is up, everyone? Welcome into the video. My name's Jonathan Messer, and in this video, we are going to be predicting the College Football Playoff National Championship. It's been a long season, and it's all boiled down to this. We're at Hard Rock Stadium. It's between Miami and Indiana, and we know, so Miami's got a little bit of a home field advantage here. They're playing literally at their own stadium. Let's hop right into this. Very special game. Two teams who really like to play similar brands of football. They like to play alike. Both teams want to slow down the game, run the ball, let their quarterback spurt out a few passes, make some plays, be a field general, be a point guard, and go win the game. Let's see what this comes down to. All right, let's hop into it. Miami just beat Ole Miss in a thrilling game. They almost lost, but that's football. I mean, almost coulda, shoulda, woulda. They didn't. They were able to rally against Ole Miss, score on the last drive of the game. Carson Beck on a rushing touchdown. Did not have that on my bingo card. But he played a really good game. He only had one interception. He had 2 touchdowns, 270 some odd yards. He had a really good game. And that's kind of the game I do think he's going to need against Indiana, because Indiana can stop the run. Obviously, you got Mark Fletcher, who's a complete dog. We all know that. And they supplement him with Charmar Brown. But Indiana has the third-ranked run defense in the nation. It's going to be kind of a stalemate here as far as running the ball, because we know Indiana running the ball as well. Roman Hemby and Kalen Black. Miami's a 5th-ranked team against the run. And we know that defensive line is nasty and they're big. Both of these teams have great offensive lines. That's going to be a huge part of this football game. What team can run the ball? Obviously, Mendoza won the Heisman this year. He's a great football player. A lot of people like to disrespect him because he's not the most outstanding Heisman winner of all time, but the dude's a great football player. He's a great leader. He's a great person, and he's a great quarterback. He looked really good against Oregon. He didn't have to do much. He had 5 touchdowns, no picks, I believe 177 yards. That's all they needed. They absolutely dismantled Oregon, and that just goes to show you the caliber of team Indiana is and what they've become. When they first went to Eugene, they won by 10 points in a game that they controlled the whole game. But to blow a team out like that is unbelievable, especially in the playoffs, especially that high of a caliber team. Receiving-wise, for Miami, you know their go-to guy. It's Malachi Toney. They finally got him going in the game against Ole Miss. He had 81 yards and a touchdown. That's what I was looking for in the Ohio State game, and I was surprised they weren't really able to get it going against Texas A&M either. They like to get him the ball fast and let him make plays in space, and if I was coaching the team, I'd do nothing differently. Indiana has more of a variety at receiver. Miami, they got their main guy, which is Malachi Toney. C.J. Daniels gets in there as well, Lofton as well. I believe Lofton's tied in, but Indiana's got guys. Got a pretty good trio over there. Elijah Surratt, Omar Cooper Jr., 2 very high prospects in this year's draft, and also Charlie Becker, tall guy who's going to go up and get the ball. I think he's had a touchdown in like the last 3 games or so. He's balling out right now. Defensively, both of these teams are a little worse against the pass. Miami more so. Miami is 50th against the pass. Indiana's 26th. But both of these teams generate pressure. Indiana, it's surprising to me how well they're creating pressure. With Stephen Daly being out, they've just made up for it. And what's really unique about their defense is they generate the most pressure through their interior, up front in the middle. Tyreek Tucker, Daniel Ndukwe, those are the 2 guys who get the most pressure other than Stephen Daly, who isn't playing. And usually you see it from the edge, but their guys play contained. They're smart. They know that if you got a guy who can spurt out and run the ball, just set the edge. You let your big guys work up front. They're really fast. They're not the biggest, but they're really fast. Let them work up front, set the edge. For Miami, we know who it is. It's Ruben Bain and it's Akeem Mesidor. I've said it every single prediction video for them in the playoffs. Those 2 guys, if you were to put them on the same team in the NFL, they'd automatically be a top 10, top 5 pass rushing duo in the league. They're that good and they're that legit, but they're going up against a very good Indiana offensive line. And that's the same thing for Indiana's D-line. They're going against a very good offensive line in Miami. This game These two teams are literally the same team, it feels like. It's unbelievable. Now, you can go back and forth about who you'd rather take at each position, but my goodness, these guys are really good. I think when it gets to these types of games, more so in the NFL, but also in college, a good rule to lean on here is better coach, better quarterback. Who's a better coach between Cignetti and Mario Cristobal? I don't know. It's very stalemate-ish in my opinion. Mendoza and Beck, I'd say Mendoza because he won the Heisman. Carson Beck makes a little more mistakes, but Beck's a great quarterback, and he's looked really good as of late. Let's get into some of the keys to this game. I got the number one here. Who can run the ball? Whoever runs the ball in this game, who's able to supplement it, the run with the pass, that's what it's going to come down here to. Because these are two very similar teams. These are two teams who don't want their quarterback to have to go win the game for them. Both of them can, but that's not the game plan. They like to slow the ball down and run tempo. I don't think this game's going to be very high scoring. There's a reason the game is 46.5. But that leads into my next QB play. Who makes the plays necessary? Both QBs have done it in each game. In my opinion, I trust Mendoza a little bit more. But Carson Beck, you never know. That dude could just wake up and play ball like he's done the whole playoffs. Which team can get to the quarterback? Like I said, these might be the best two offensive lines in college football, and these might be both, well, Miami for sure, but I believe Indiana's a top 5 pass rush even without Stephen Daly. In the Alabama game, I overestimated his loss to the team, and it really didn't matter, and it still hasn't mattered. Lastly, I say every time two heavyweight teams like this are playing, in a big game like this against two great teams, who wins the line of scrimmage? Whoever wins the line of scrimmage in this game is going to win. I want you to think back to every Alabama-Georgia SEC championship game. SEC championship game always came down to who won the line of scrimmage, and Bama usually did it. This year, Georgia did, and they won. So when it's two heavyweights, look at the line of scrimmage. All right, betting-wise, I already mentioned that the over-under is 46.5, very low for a national championship game. Indiana's favored by 7.5. Unbelievable. That is crazy to me that in a national championship game there could be a 7.5 point spread. Crazy. On a neutral field, too. Indiana's money line is minus 295, and Miami's is plus 240. Okay, this game for me was Miami until it wasn't, and it wasn't after that Oregon-Indiana game. Last Thursday, I was getting asked by a lot of people, who do I think is going to win the national championship? I told them I think Miami's going to win it. As of right then, I said Miami is everything Indiana is, but I think possibly a little bit bigger and more athletic. Therefore, I kind of attributed that to being better. Not anymore. After what I saw Indiana do in 2 straight weeks and then do it to Oregon, unbelievable. I can't pick against them. How can I pick against them? They got the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. They have one of the best running back duos in the nation. A nasty defense. Like, this team is now getting compared to LSU 2019. I'm not doing that, but it is getting compared. Unbelievable. So I am going to roll with Indiana. I made up my mind. Like I said, after that Oregon game, that's when it wasn't Miami. It was Miami till it wasn't, and that's when. I think this game is going to be very close. I said that about every Indiana game, and they've blown them out. I don't think that's going to happen here, but we'll see. There's 100% a path for Miami to win here. Just make some more big plays in the passing game than Indiana does, and they can win. But I think Indiana wins it, and Indiana is your national championship, the first in program history, and Cignetti continues his magical run. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Thanks for hanging with me all year long. Jesus saves. God bless.